In this tutorial in Cyberlink PowerDirector, we're going to look at how to use a text mask. What does a text mask do? Well, as the name implies, it allows you to mask a video with letters or text. They look like titles, but they're not. If you look on the screen before you, what you see are three elements, and they all look like titles, but two of them are not. AMS training is not a title. It's a video using a text mask. So is Work Better, Think Smart. So please look at the following example, and then we'll show you some tips on working with a text mask. Let's create one together. I'm going to take the same video and drop it down on track number 1 over here. And we see as we play the video, the camera is panning down again on this gal. So what I'd like to do is use a text tool on another video. Now that video probably should be something where the colors are somewhat consistent. Let me take the same one we used in our example that you just saw and drag it down to track number 2. And when we play this, you see it's basically some triangles in the pink-red range that are lit or unlit, as it were. So I'm going to take that and highlight that. That's going to be the background for my letters, my animated letters. And then I click on the Edit button above the timeline. What I want to do now is go to the second control from the left in the new interface. That's my mask. Click on that. Now I want to go to the Advanced in the lower right corner of that control section. I've enlarged the screen. I don't see the tool I want. It's actually found in the area called Custom. So I'm going to click from Preset over to Custom. And then I want to choose the third item from the left. That's my text. That will open up a new screen. And it starts out with the default My Title. I'm just going to change that to Example, and we can change anything about the font size. We cannot add a border to it or anything like that, but we can change the location. And you notice when I move it around, it covers a different part of the video. So it somewhat is dependent where you put this as to what the video is doing behind it. So you have that variation there. I'll just leave it here and click on OK. Now when we play this, we're going to see a stable mask. Let's just continue here. And we have the animation behind the letters. But that's not all you can do with it. So let's stop this. And let's do some more changing to it. I'm going to click on Modify Mask. And what I want to do is I want to make it a little bigger, like we did before, and click on OK. Now you notice I also have controls below here that are keyframe controls. Let's take position and scale at the beginning, and then we'll move where the camera moves down to the gal, and I don't want it on her head here. I would like it somewhere else. So we're going to change it by using keyframe controls. I'll set a position and scale value for each of these. And I'm going to shrink the size of the mask and change the location of the mask. So now if we start from the beginning, it's going to come down and shrink and move. So we have animation within the character, and we have animation of the mask itself. That's the principle that you're seeing here. So that works okay. I'll say OK, and we're done with that one. And we'll click OK again. I could have clicked on Save in the last screen. You notice here now I have Example as an option. So it tells me it knows I've used that one. Let's try a different one in this case. Let's go back to our media. Here's another video I have, and we'll use that for a different title. Again, we'll click on our Edit button, We make sure that we are in the advanced mode and we're using our mask. I'll click on another custom and use our text. I'll just use the number 1. We'll make it smaller. You can also use more than one title. I'll click on the title over here, and I'll click on 2. I'll take this one, move it to this location, and I can change the font size on this one if I want it smaller. Click on OK. So you can have more than one title in your mask. Here's my 1, 2. It's stable. I haven't done anything with it. And I click on OK. We have example doing what it did before. Then we have the 1, 2 that's pretty much stable. Now, there's something else that you can do. I'm going to take this one here and click on that. And then I can move it by moving the entire mask together, say over here. Now there's something else that I've found that's useful when you're using this kind of technique. Sometimes it's hard to see these in relationship to the background. So I'm going to move everything down a track, the 1, 2, and then I'm going to go back to my media room and choose my color boards. And I'll pick a contrasting color board. And we'll change the duration a bit here. And then what I will do is I will resize the color board. I found out I cannot move it, but I can change all the handles of it to get it the right place where I want it. That's close enough. And now it stands out a little better. It looks like a title, but it's not a title because there's animation going on behind it. And we'll play that. And so we have one animated video, and the 1, 2 is actually animated. You see the colors changing behind there as well. So that's an example of how you can use them. They act like titles, but they're not, but they do give animation to the characters of the letters and numbers that you type in to add a little more flavor, a little more flair in CyberLink PowerDirector.